Oh, hello.
Hello.
Wherever you are, watching on Facebook, YouTube, around the world, NITV, Global TV, I don't know, wherever we're broadcasting around. Welcome
Space.
to South Australia. Space,
Yeah.
outer space. Maybe you're an astronaut tuning into the CMAX Premier League here on beautiful Glenelg, Softball South Australia, the HQ, the home, the heart, the pulse of softball. Maybe even in Australia, one could say.
I think we could go as far as saying that, absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Eric Ballnar here with Lana Kaesler. Going to bring you some softball action today. Brought to you by CMAX, of course. If you want to advance medical research and get paid for your time, Lana Kaesler, mention softball, by the way, when you go and do that. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of these CMAX clinical trials that they're doing before?
Yeah, I have, and you can earn a decent amount of coin by helping them out, so it's worth your money.
So my mate mentioned softball, by the way, when they went into CMAX. They just came out of an 18-day clinical
Wow.
trial. They got paid $8,000.
That's wild.
But they have to stay in the facility and
but
get
how
tested.
good's that before Christmas?
Yeah, and she said she felt no side effects whatsoever, and she just chilled out for 18 days before Christmas. $8,000 cash, CMAX Premier League. But that's enough about CMAX. Let's talk about softball, Lana Kaesler.
Let's get into it.
The Glenelg Rebels here playing Sturt. Now, Sturt every year, there's sort of a model of consistency. It's death, taxes, and Sturt being good at softball. We know what they can bring. They've got Belle White, Maddie Cameron, Sarah Tonkin, blah, blah, blah. Same old story.
Boring,
yeah. But Glenelg, they are the upstart team this year that all of a sudden turned from a team that the last few years have been dwindling near the bottom, sort of fighting for the wooden spoon, where all of a sudden, with a couple additions to this roster, the P word might be entering the vernacular of softball fans of the Glenelg Rebels. They could be a fringe finals and premiership contender with the kind of makeup that they have. They've looked a lot better this year with a 6-5 record.
Absolutely. They've come into this year's comp very, very hot, ready to go. Obviously with a notable add-in of Yo Grauer and Sydney Horton into their lineup, as well as a returning old-school Glenelg player in Georgia Bevan. And then adding in the flair of a Jade Peterson, Gemma Cochran, people that have been around the club for a while. They've come looking the goods.
And they have been pretty handy versus Sturt this year. The last time they played was just a couple weeks ago. It was a 5-4 game, and it was tied going into the final inning. And then Belle White did, okay, I'll give you a guess, like 4-4 game. Sturt batting. Was it going to be anyone else but Belle White? That was the difference maker in that game, and a 5-4 win.
Did you have a bit of a goat scene?
I think she may have. She was good in that game, and Belle White may be putting together one of her best seasons that we've seen her play, which is absolutely crazy. She's got 16 hits in 24 at-bats. That is a .666 batting average, 11 singles, 3 doubles. She's got 4 extra base hits. She's dynamite in the field. Like, does it seem weird that somehow Belle is better?
I think sometimes, like a fine wine, people like Belle just keep getting better with age. So pop her open like a bottle of Grange. Belle's ready to go.
We're going to have a quick opening ceremony for this game, a very special round this week here at Softball South Australia on beautiful Glenelg. This is the mental health round, and we have Zane Kirkwood from Breakthrough who is going to join us probably in about 10-15 minutes or so at the end of the first inning. He's going to pop on for an inning and talk about everything that's going on at Breakthrough. But a very special round here. Softball does that probably better than any other local sport in terms of theming of the rounds and the community getting behind it. So you can see the green headbands, the green bows, the green ribbons that everyone's wearing. That is the symbol for mental health here.
Very important round, I think, especially leading into the festive season. Something that does affect many people, no matter who you are, but keeping a positive mental health and actually making sure that you're looking out for each other, checking in on your friends, teammates, workmates, family, to make sure they're doing okay. No better time of the year to do it heading into Christmas.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Lana. It's a tricky one. So this last week, it's starting to get around a little bit, but someone that's been in the baseball community took their own life earlier this week. And it really rattled, I think, a lot of people and it certainly caught me by surprise. Because this person, one of the most positive people that you could be around, and you would never guess at all.
That they were struggling.
Never guess in a million years. Like, I was completely shocked when I got the phone call saying that it happened. Like completely stunned. And Yeah, that's affected me the last couple of days, to be honest, too, because it just really drove home that, like, yeah, you have no idea what people are going through sometimes. So,
and I think it's a silent killer, and it's something that affects so many people. And without starting that conversation, how are we to know? But even just a simple, how are you today? How are you going? A good check-in might be the difference between someone thinking that, you know, their life is worth it today as opposed to the next day.
And you make a good point heading into the holidays. Like, that can be a very fun time for a lot of people, but a very isolating time for some other people who might not know. Like, I'm one of those people too. Like, I'm away, you know, millions of miles, it feels like, away from my family and my tradition. So I know that I always struggle every holidays as well with just a bit of a loneliness factor, even though I have great friends here. So I really do encourage people to check in on someone and maybe go and check in on the person you'd least expect that they need to check on today. So if people are listening and watching, maybe do that for your homework today, is go check in on somebody that you otherwise wouldn't check in because you just assume they're okay.
It takes 10 seconds, a text message, a phone call. Doesn't take much. And we've got the opening pitch by a Sturt legend, Shelley Neller, who's obviously pitched an absolute fat strike down the middle. So she
Good baseball player too.
Yeah, she is. She does pitch for their D grade team occasionally. Probably one of the biggest home run hitters of her generation in the A grade competition, I would argue. So nice to see Shelley out here supporting the cause.
Great to see. So a great cause out here. Everybody with great spirit, as you come to expect in the softball community. But there is a game to play. Sturt versus Glenelg will go around the diamonds as Sturt run out to take the field. Let's start with the outfield here. Maddie Cameron in center field. That is as sure-handed as you get. But Ashlyn Mensforth in left and Ollie Durham in right has quietly turned into a pretty, I mean, Durham pitches a lot too, but that's a pretty sneaky good outfield for Sturt.
Yeah, it is. They're two really young players. I think Ollie's about 15 and Ashlyn's, I think, about 16, 17. They've snuck in, well, not snuck in, they've, you know, earned their right to be in this starting 9. They've done consistently well with the bat and in their fielding positions. I think it was only a couple of weeks ago Ashlyn called out the GOAT herself, Belinda White, for a fly ball that was sort of in a bit of no man's land. And yeah, they're sort of cementing their spots. And I personally had the privilege of coaching both of those girls at the Schoolgirls Nationals this year, and they're both really good players who are you know, are coachable and are willing to listen, so it's not surprising that they've earned their way into this lineup.
Then around the diamond, up the middle, solid, as it has ever been. Sarah Tonkin behind the dish. She's as good as it gets. It's hard to run on Sarah Tonkin. Belle White at shortstop, looking as good as she's played, and Rachel Tonkin's been the second base woman for Sturt for about 49 years, it feels like at this point, even though she's, what, 24 or 25 years old? The corners, a bit of a change at Sturt this year. So Abby Weir at third base, a young player, getting a bit better as the season goes on, and Riley Moore over at first. Both players with sort of fielding percentages that are leaving a little bit to be desired, but Sturt hanging with them, hoping that they can kind of turn the page a bit.
And I think that's an important thing to do. I think head coach Justina Adams does a really good job in putting faith and confidence in younger players, making sure, obviously, softball, baseball, sports alike are very heavily negatively structured so that we fail a lot. So even though you might fail, they keep them in the lineup, keep them learning, and that's a really positive move.
Zolly Adams is the pitcher for Sturt, and Gemma Cochran stands in as the leadoff batter. So it's Ruby Fidge that's going to be the pitcher today. A late change on the lineup that was submitted, but Zolly in the flex position, so she'll factor in this game as well. Ruby Fidge delivers the first pitch to Gemma Cochran, and we are underway at Softball South Australia. Pitch down low. Gemma Cochran, Sydney Horton, Sasha Penglaze, Yo Grauer, Georgia Bevan, Caitlin Carroll, Tate Nicholson, Jade Peterson, and Braun Sawyer, the batting lineup for Glenelg, which has quietly turned into a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, it's a lineup that over the past few seasons hasn't necessarily put up a lot of runs. However, this year, I would say consistently scoring 5-6 runs a game regardless of who their opponent is. So they're very much a never say die team this year. But I think a lot of the players who have sort of come into their own, Gemma Cochran being one, working her way into a lead-off batting position, has done really well to put the ball in play and just force herself onto base.
Now they are above 500 this year with more wins than what they've had in recent seasons, but they have been starting kind of behind in a lot of the games. Early innings haven't been too kind for Glenelg, so something that they'll look to keep a bit tighter because they do come on pretty strong late.
Absolutely. No, I think something that they have done really well, as I just said about someone like Gemma, is they put the ball into play and they're really forcing a lot of even really strong fielding lineups to try and get them out, as opposed to, here we go.
Cochran grounds it over to third, Ware with the throw, and on the money to Riley Moore. So the two players we talked about early come up with a nice connection on a play that you just have to make.
Absolutely, and Abby Ware does a really good job of charging that ball but still setting her feet to make a really nice throw to first base. Again, coming into her own in that position, I think she does a really good job of cutting off balls in the gap and trusting her glove. It might not always come off, but they're the balls that you've got to attack.
Sydney Horton comes up to bat, the import player. She's played 8 games, 25 plate appearances. She's got 10 hits and 23 at-bats, so her batting average just a little bit over 400. She's got 3 extra base hits already this season, so a very threatening player and a pretty handy import they've added in as a bit of a batting weapon.
Not just handy in the right-handed box either. She's actually a bit of a tasty switch hitter, so she can go either in the left-handed batting box or the right-handed batting box for like a drag, slap sort of bunt slap, or she can hit for power. So she's pretty dangerous, and you really can't judge or predict where she's going to actually hit the ball.
Horton ahead early in the count versus Fidge, and she grounds one up the middle right to Belinda White, scoops, fires, and guns her down. There's 2 quick outs for the Sturt defense.
Another good play, as always, by Bell. Thankfully, also a bit of a Merry Christmas ball comes straight to her. Attacks it nicely, uses her cannon. Unless you're ultra speedy, you're probably not going to get past her arm.
Sasha Penglaze is up to bat. She's got 6 hits on the season.
Ruby Fidge has been quite consistent already in this game. The batters haven't had to hang around a lot. She's not letting them, getting a lot of strikes in there, forcing him to do something with the bat, which is good.
Ruby Fidge and Zolly Adams have pitched most of the season, as with Olivia Durham, and this is over to Ware, and there you go. Hot corner doing its job in the first inning for Abby Ware.
Left side very much strong. Only a couple pitches. I reckon Ruby might have only pitched maybe 8 balls that dig, so not a bad start, and really doing a good job of relying on her field, which is when you've got people like Bell White, Abby Ware behind you, why wouldn't you?
This is Ruby Fidge's just her 2nd start of the season. She has pitched in 6 games prior, almost 13 innings of work, and only allowed 4 runs to her name so far. She's been very reliable, but a fairly even split. Zolly Adams, the lion's share. She's pitched the most, but usually goes Zolly Adams handed over to Fidge and Durham. You don't usually see Sturt pitchers twice in a game.
No, Justina does an interesting sort of technique where she uses a lot of her pitches every single game, which is quite an interesting tactic. It's not the old school, oh, we won't show them the pitches before April next year. She's like, nope, here are our pitches, do what you like, but they often blow most people away.
Here is a look defensively at the Glenelg Rebels. Caitlin Carroll in left, Sasha Penglaze at right. But Georgia Bevan, a big-time return this year to softball. She had played for a few years before her AFLW career, a premiership player with the Adelaide Crows. She's back playing softball this year. Gemma Cochran is playing over at third base, Yo Grauer at short. Tate Nicholson at second, Braun Sawyer at first, and Sydney Horton is catching. Jade Peterson pitching. The most interesting thing in this whole lineup for me, though, is Yo Grauer at shortstop.
Yeah, I actually spoke to Yo this morning, and I said, oh, are you coming down this weekend? Is this one of the ones? She's like, yes, but I am playing shortstop. So I'm actually quite excited. She's someone who, as we know, more than, you know, we know very well, she's come from UCLA and is a very capable pitcher, but yeah, I think she's got a strong arm. She reads the ball well, so it won't surprise me if she comes away with 3 votes from this game at the old shortstop position.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her come in and pitch at some point either, if necessary. Jade Peterson is the starter, and she's been one of the best in the competition for a while, Jade Peterson. And this year, some pretty good numbers again. She's pitched in 7 games. She's allowed 15 runs, 4-3 record. She's started 6 games. She's finished 7 of them, but 6 complete games in the mix. So she could go the whole way, but again, a very high strike throwing percentage for Miss Peterson in the circle.
Yeah, she doesn't like to hang around in the circle. She's got a lot of tricks up her sleeve as far as pitching goes. She's got an excellent off pace, which I think we just saw. She's got a sneaky low rise ball, and yeah, she likes to get ahead early. So even though most of the competition is well aware that Jade throws lots of strikes, she still gets a lot of people out.
Sarah Tonkin, 11 hits from 25 at-bats, and she's going to crunch one over to left field, but well taken by Caitlin Carroll, and there's one down.
It's an important out to get. Sarah Tonkin's one of the most consistent lead-off batters in our competition, so getting her out to start off an inning really can sort of stifle the progress that Sturt can sometimes get through with their batting lineup.
Ollie Durham's been pitching most of the year, but she has been at the plate a few times. She's 4 for 11 on the season, and she's batting in the 2-hole in this game today. Player that you coached as well.
Yeah, absolutely. She's one to watch in our competition as an up-and-comer. She already throws well over 90 k's an hour as a 15-year-old. She's much stronger than she sort of looks. She's a bit of a sneaky one like that. As you can see by that cut she took, very strong hitter when she wants to be, but can also show lots of speed around the bases. So she's a handy one to have in the second hole.
And she's batting right before that power sequence of Belle White and Maddie Cameron. Riley Moore's had a couple clutch hits this season in the 5-hole too.
Riley Moore has someone that I think has really come into her own in this competition, probably towards the end of last season and this season. I think probably batting in that mix of a White and Cameron spot, you know that someone's always going to be able to pick up slack, but she just really lets the bat go.
Well, Durham doesn't go down wondering, does she?
No, a great cut, but that's one of Jade's up balls. Very, very nasty spin on that, and yeah, just gets Ollie having a nice big cut. So 2 out already. Again, another quick inning. This might be a very quick first inning for the game. And
we'll bring in Zane Kirkwood after this inning, and we'll talk a little bit about mental health and what Breakthrough is doing as well here at Mental Health Round across it. It's Sturt's Club Day today, too.
Sturt's Club Day, and it would be rude of us not to mention the fact that when they go back out onto the field, Sturt's wearing visors today that are sponsored by ST Fit. So the lead-off batter for Sturt, but also their catcher, Sarah Tonkin, has her own, I would say, very strong fitness business called ST Fit. Yeah, follow her on Instagram. But yeah, she's sponsored their hats today and has put that money towards mental health. So good on her. Something that goes hand in hand, isn't it? Mental health, fitness. Yep. Mental well-being, physical well-being, the wellness bubble. The wellness bubble. 3-0 count to Belle White. They were pitching her KG, and it's 4 straight balls, and Belle White is aboard. She's a handy base runner, too. So Maddie Cameron, ball in the right spot. Belle White will be thinking green. I think so. I don't think Maddie will hang around either. She often goes after the first or second pitch, especially off Jade Peterson. I think she will definitely attack this early depending on where the pitch is. So it'll be interesting to see how Jade attacks this batter. Yeah, Jade lives around the strike zone as Belle White playing a bit of cat and mouse with Braun Sawyer and Tate Nicholson over at first and second. High for ball 1. It'll be interesting to see if she comes back inside the zone. And she did, and Maddie Cameron just missed that. Fouls it straight back into the backstop. A 1-1 count. That was the kind of pitch Maddie was looking for, though. She knows she just missed one. Absolutely. Yeah, she doesn't hang around. Her zone's quite wide as well, especially on 2 strikes. She really just has a hack, and she will go with a pitch, so it wouldn't surprise me if she sends one to center right here. Pitch on the outside. Jade Peterson trying to throw something off speed. Just missed her target there. Yeah, off speed. That cheeky off speed. Luckily for Maddie, out of the zone, because sometimes that can be a tough one to make connection with. So the 2-1 count to Cameron. Finds a strike, didn't like that pitch to swing at. Cameron having a big year. She's 12 for 22 this season. She's also got 7 walks, so 29 plate appearances. She's beat on base 19 times. That's an interesting stat that she's had a lot of walks. She's obviously been... And she's going to scoop one over to right field. It's that little soft gap, and it finds a spot, and Belle White was quick on it. She rounds all the way to third, and that wasn't anything too wrong on Jade Peterson's account. She jammed her, but ball falls in the right spot. Yeah, she's poked that just on the low outside there, and Maddie's just thrown her hands she's one at making connection, and it doesn't matter where it goes. Ultimately, in the scorebook, that goes down as a single to right field. It doesn't matter what it looks like. But Belle White, we talk about it all the time, especially in the West Torrens camp. She's one of the best base runners for young players to look and watch out for. On that case, obviously, there was already 2 out, so she's putting the pedal on. But she makes it to 3 quite comfortably, knowing that she can just keep running, and she's got the faith that if she needs to, she might even go home.
Well, Riley Moore's had a few opportunities this season when there's been runners on, and it's been because, well, Belle White and Maddie Cameron get on a lot. So an important spot for Riley Moore to try to drive one home.
She's very good at staying on top of the ball, Riley. She can also attack an up pitch, which is an area where sometimes pitchers, I think, sort of put the ball unintentionally, but she can go with an up pitch and drive it hard.
This dribbled over to third base, a difficult one for Cochran, and what a grab! Reaching out was Braun Sawyer to retire the side. That will look interesting on the CMAX replay.
A great attack by Gemma Cochran at third base. She had to. It was a little slow roller, as we see on the replay. Attacks the ball really nicely. It can get a bit confusing with the runner running home, but fires it across. Bron Sawyer does an excellent job of stretching out for that out, especially into the path of the runner. So a good out there.
A good out, and that's probably an out that in the last few years we've seen Glenelg on a couple times not make. You have a runner at third, that ball slips away, all of a sudden there's a run across the board, the inning continues, and somebody else comes up to bat, where no runs becomes 1 run and 1 run becomes 3 runs. This year, Glenelg been very good at limiting big innings.
Absolutely, it's something they've definitely improved on, and yeah, it's an area that now other teams can't rely on scoring runs off errors. They've got to actually get them out.
Well, let's bring a third commentator on to the broadcast booth for the inning. Zane Kirkwood from Breakthrough has agreed to spend a little bit of time with us here. Zane, thanks for popping down the softball field today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How you doing? Tell us about yourself, Zane. Where are you from? Breakthrough. It's the Breakthrough round. How did this partnership come about?
I think it's been going for a couple of years now, just through mutual connection. We've kind of been in conversation. We had a round last year as well, which we had someone come out and speak during a game, and coming out again today to support. And yeah, no, it's great to be here, and it's my first softball game, so it's great to be here and take it in, and yeah.
Oh, great. You can see, you can watch a bit of softball here as this one is crunched over towards right field. Sasha Penglaze having a look. 2 of the, you got Sturt, who are just reigning, they're always good, although they haven't won a premiership in a few years lately, Sturt, but they're always a contender. One of the best players in the country plays for Sturt. The shortstop, you got to watch out for her, Belle White. She's an Olympian. All right. And then Glenelg, they've been struggling the last few seasons, but this year all of a sudden they're above 500. They're in a final spot. They're looking a lot better, and they're only getting more additions as the season goes on. So it's a nice little where you at game for Glenelg right now to kind of judge up against a team that's only dropped 1 game this year. Yeah, well, I did notice one name that you spoke of in the Glenelg team was Georgia Bevan. I've come from the same footy club that she was at. So, yeah, seeing that, it was a nice surprise. And, yeah, I didn't know she played softball, so it's great to see it. Oh, mate, she played softball well before her footy days. Yeah. Grounded over to her second base, and it's well played by Rachel Tonkin, 1 down. So 4 outs, all ground outs. 1 to short, 2 to third, and 1 to second. The whole infield going to work so far for Sturt here on Mental Health Round. So as Georgia Bevan comes up to that. So what is she like as a footy player here? Give us the scouting report. We'll see if it translates to the to the softball game. We've all seen her with the Crows before. You know? Yeah, she's a very hard worker. You always see her at the bottom of the pack getting the ball out, and yeah, very hard worker, good skills, and leads from the front. She was captain of the club as well, so she's a very good player. She's going to take a pitch down low going against Ruby Fidge, a young teenage pitcher who's been put up some impressive numbers this year, only allowing a couple of runs in sort of a work-share agreement between the 3 Falcons pitchers. This is going to be fouled away by Bevan. So, Zane, Breakthrough round. What is Breakthrough doing, especially around this Christmas period we're entering right now in the life of Breakthrough's world? Yeah, so this is probably a pretty busy time for us. We had our big Christmas event last night, which is probably one of our big fundraisers. What we, I guess, fundraise towards, and what we our charity is going towards mental health research. So we want to try and find that early intervention of how we can help people before it becomes a problem, and try and get those steps in early. And whether that's in a school program, in sports programs, or whatever, that's what we're
we're really aiming towards. So, yeah, we've had a few different events, in particular with sports clubs as well, going into that period where you probably disconnect from your clubs, where it's really important to stay together. People probably go away and have different...
Carroll up the middle. It's a base hit. Sorry, Zane.
Just
letting everyone know Caitlin Carroll. No, it's an interesting point you made about that disconnection, especially you find yourself so busy around this time, right? Like, it's easy. You get wrapped up in your own world of work and going to all these... You feel like I certainly feel like I'm a bit of a passenger a lot of the time right now. You got work event here, friend event here, this and that, where you kind of leave your communities for a little bit and you start to feel a bit disconnected.
Absolutely, and I think that's the underrated value of sports clubs or any kind of community clubs is that connection to people. Obviously, you've got that common goal of trying to win games and eventually win a premiership or what you're working towards, but there's that connection to people that's really important.
Tate Nicholson up to bat with a runner on first. Ruby Fidge delivers a pitch up high. So you mentioned something interesting in that last spiel about trying to find something before it becomes a problem. How can you even... As this is grounded over towards third, we've been talking a lot about Weir, and she's on the money today. That's 3 plays from the hot corner to retire the side, and we'll get a moment to chat a little bit more with Zane here in between the action. So what are some of the signs that you look for, and how can we figure out ways to prevent?
Well, it's you've taken the words out of my mouth there. We run a program which is a session which is the 5 signs, which is 5 signs you look out for maybe it's yourself or someone that you're close to that might be going through a bit of a mental health challenge and might be presenting in a different behaviour that's normal to them. For instance, coming from a sporting background, someone that really enjoys their sport and they're at training and they're saying certain things that they're not enjoying or they don't want to be here anymore, you start to notice those signs. They're coming late to training or coming late to work when you know they're normally there on time or a little bit before. So those little things that over time you notice and they're not quite the same spark. You've got that gut feel. You just have that conversation, ask that question, how are you going, or is there anything I can help with? And more often than not, some people can't really speak about what's going on, but if you've got that gut feeling that someone might be going through a bit of a challenge, ask again. There's nothing wrong with asking 2 or 3 times just to be certain. But noticing those little signs and symptoms that someone might be going through something is really important.
What are some of the other signs? I know you just talked about the kind of lack of engagement sometimes that you might see. Are there any other little silent signs that we can sometimes maybe go overlooked a little bit? Yeah,
I guess unhealthy habits of eating, and a common one is alcohol as well as a bit of a masking agent of something that's going on. So things like that, sleeping more, not sleeping at all is signs as well, and having that lethargic experience sort of thing as well.
Ruby Fidge, the pitcher, goes against Jade Peterson. She fouls one away into foul territory. We're here with Zane from Breakthrough talking about mental health here on Mental Health Round in Softball South Australia in the CMAX Premier League. It's a no-score game between Sturt and Glenelg. Defense has been the calling card so far, especially from the hot corner of both teams. This one nubbed over towards second. It's a slow roller, and that was never really going to be played by Tate Nicholson. That was just right spot, right time for Ruby Fidge, and for the first time today, we have a leadoff runner on to first base. So Rachel Tonkin will try to go to work. This is the 7, 8, 9 batters in this Sturt lineup trying to create something, and if 7, 8, 9 get it done, that's what you can remember from this, Zane, watching your first softball game. If you can just remember when 7, 8, 9 get it done, that's how games are won.
Okay, I'll write that one.
You can write that one down when you're talking about softball. Ask them, just if someone's talking about their game, ask that person how the bottom of the lineup went. It's usually...
I'll speak to Bevo about that one, see if you can.
Yeah, ask her how the bottom... Yeah, that's perfect. This, a nice little bunt play. Advances the runner to second. It's the sacrifice, so Rachel Tonkin sacrificing herself for an out to try to put Ruby Fidge base ahead and into scoring position, which will lead Ashlyn Mensforth, the woman in charge of that. Mensforth, another young player that's coming out of this kind of softball factory in Sturt. She's only got a couple hits this season. This would be a good time for a third for Mensforth to try to get the first run on the board. So what are those? What kind of those signs do you like to see? If I'm at a club right now, how can I try to build a bit of a what am I trying to say? A healthier environment that really encourages these mental health aspects at my sporting club?
I guess being open to have those conversations and being approachable to it as well. I guess first step of having someone trained in mental health first aid is a good port of call, and having that known throughout the club, whether that's a coach or someone that's notable within the club and respected within the club that people feel they can go and speak to. But yeah, I guess having that vulnerability to have that chat and feel comfortable with people. You can't force people to speak about it, but having that known that they can go and chat if they feel that way and get that kind of support within the club, it can be really important for that as well. And just, I guess, keeping that same level of communication that you would with that person is really important.
Runner now all the way at third on the pass ball, and they're going to try to play some small ball, trying to squeeze in Ruby Fidge standing at third, but that one is bunted backwards, so it is 2 strikes. That eliminates the squeeze play. Few options to score the run here. A base hit, a fly ball into the outfield, and even a ground ball could score the run, so keep your eyes closely peeled at Mensforth at third. And of course, a pass ball. If Sydney Horton behind the dish did not bring that in, that probably scores a run. So a key moment in the game is Sturt threatening for their first mark of the match. Called ball. Jade Peterson was looking for it. She was staring down at the home plate umpire, Pete Fairley. Ian Gray at first, Kevin Tannebring at third base. That's your officiating crew today. Full count. Swing and a miss. That's a huge strikeout from Jade Peterson. And they are 1 out away from getting out of the inning and eliminate sort of that sacrifice play to score the run. So Abby Ware, who's been good at third base, is now, it's all up to her to try to keep this inning alive and try to score a run. She's got 3 hits this season, looking for a 4th. A few nuances in this game here, Zane.
Yeah.
So you mentioned about having like how'd you word it, a mental health officer at the club?
First aid, yeah.
First aid, yeah.
Yep.
So how can, is Breakthrough an organization that might be able to help clubs arm themselves with some of those resources?
Absolutely, yeah. So we run mental health first aid at Breakthrough. So myself, I'm a trainer, and 2 others at Breakthrough, which is a 2-day course, essentially exactly the same as physical first aid, but it's the mental health side. So noticing the signs and symptoms, but then how do you walk with someone and support them in that place?
Swing and a miss on a pitch upstairs, just 2 strikes on her to get out of the inning.
And then we also do awareness sessions, which is pretty popular within sports clubs, which is like an hour session, condensed version of the mental health first aid. And that goes through a high level of it all and how you can support someone that's going through a struggle. 2 strikes on Ware. Swing and a miss. Jade Peterson gets into some trouble with a leadoff single, but gets back-to-back strikeouts to get out of a jam and keep this game scoreless through 2. We're with Zane for a little bit longer. Zane, thank you once again for joining us here from Breakthrough. So if I am at a club, I know I'm part of a baseball club, ice hockey club, I'm around the softball community, how do I find out how to get in touch with Breakthrough to arrange one of these sessions, and when do you do them? Yep, so we can run them at any stage that works for within the clubs, and how we can best suit that, whether that's at training sessions or weekends, and then the mental health first aid's normally during the week. And then how you can get in touch is just through our website, which is breakthroughmentalhealthresearch.com. Or go into Google. It's probably a lot easier than trying to type all that in.
Yeah.
And then on socials,
Google Breakthrough.
Yeah, that's it. And then on socials as well, same thing. So you can get in touch there, and we can find a way to get in touch and work through that.
And is take-up being good? Like how often, how many of these sessions are you doing, for instance?
Yeah, it has been good, and in particular, I guess through winter with football and netball, that has probably been our main one so far. Like we're still a pretty young organisation, and we've been around for 5 years, so we're growing pretty quickly, but still a lot of work to go with all the sports. But football and netball have probably been our main drivers, and winter's probably our most popular season. But summer's definitely coming along as well.
Jade Peterson leading things off for Glenelg, and Zane Kirkwood from Breakthrough. How did you get involved with Breakthrough? What's your backstory?
So I did a fundraiser in 2019 and kind of stayed connected. Did some speaking events for a year, and then came on
full time after that, and then worked in the community space where I'm still now, and working through that. So I've really enjoyed my time there, and working for a good cause. It's something that I'm very passionate about.
Was there a particular motivating factor for you to get involved with Breakthrough originally?
Yeah, through a personal story, which was good to, I guess, have that driver of the reason that we wanted to do it, and have that support from family of why we were doing it, and which was a great support, and something that I'm very passionate about working towards.
Jade Peterson, the pitcher in this game. This is her first at-bat. Bron Sawyer following things up. Then there'll be one time through the lineup. Then we'll watch how Sturt will manage their pitching staff. Batting lineup, just 9 players deep. And Sturt often likes to change their pitchers as soon as they get through one time through those 9 players and say, hey, we're going to go with somebody else to try to navigate the lineup, and especially when there's signs of trouble. And Jade Peterson, after allowing as a pitcher a leadoff base runner, is now aboard herself for Bron Sawyer to try to do some damage. So bit of a cat and mouse game. It's a low-scoring game, but often these games are the best kind of games.
Yeah.
It's a little sneaky things that are happening. Runs at a premium, right? You know, in footy, when that goal's at a premium, those are usually the best games.
It's the tactics that are behind it, which is interesting.
Yeah, the mistakes just become a little bit more elevated, which is great. So what's your sporting background?
I played footy, all my life, and a bit of cricket as well, and basketball. But footy was my number one. And that's something that I've only recently last year finished, but and gone into the coaching world, so something different. But footy's my one-on-one.
In the mental health world, have you noticed any changes in sort of the footy culture, I guess, in Australia over the last few years? Like, where was it? I mean, I'm new to Australia. I've only been here 8-9 years, but what's the difference, maybe 15 years ago in footy culture compared to now when it comes to mental health?
Yeah, it's pretty much chalk and cheese, and I think even before that it's probably changed again, but you probably didn't speak about your feelings, and you kind of just shut them away and pulled your socks up and get on with it, sort of thing. And we're now
they're going to get one out at 2, and Bell White just sails the throw a little bit. That was a tricky play to make, but it'll just end up going down as a fancy-looking fielder's choice at the end of the day.
Now it's probably more now. It's that being more approachable and being open and vulnerable in those spaces, and making that connection to people that might be going through a similar thing, and you can build that kind of camaraderie with that and that strength within a team, which is really important for on-field success if you're doing well off-field as well.
That isolation factor really does come down to it, doesn't it? And that is what clubs can kind of, not cure, but certainly help with the loneliness sort of feeling.
100%, and I think it's really cool to see clubs that if they find out someone's going through a challenge, whether it's mental health or a physical challenge, you really wrap your arms around them and get them within the club, and that can really help them in their improvement and in their health of getting better.
I mean, clubs I know are very social beasts and animals. There's always something going on. What about some of the clubs that you've been at in the past or at now? Have you changed anything in terms of the way the club operates to try to be more inclusive, get people involved, even those little shifts of little things?
I don't think it was just me myself, but I think a whole group of people, in particular with the footy club that I was involved with, of working towards how we can support our whole team rather than just small parts of it.
This lifted towards center field. Maddie Cameron charging on. It was never in doubt with Maddie Cameron, 2 down.
And I think that can go a long way if you have more people pushing the wall down. It makes it a lot easier. So, I think if you can implement one thing that helps one person, then it's all worth it, sort of thing. If you can help, like unfortunately, and I'm sorry to hear of what you mentioned before earlier of someone, if you can help that one person, it's really important. Yeah,
I mean, that was a tricky one. I mean, if you're just joining us in the broadcast, brought up a story earlier this week, we lost somebody. This is grounded over towards second rather, and they make the play, inning down. Someone who very sadly took their own life in this past week, and there was just no visible signs, at least from my standpoint. I mean, I knew him, but I wasn't, his best mate, or maybe other people saw the signs. But I guess that's a tricky one too, is when it doesn't appear like there's any signs.
That's it, and unfortunately, it's more often than not the stories that you hear of when that does occur is that it's normally the person that doesn't show any signs or symptoms, and it can be really tricky. But there might be certain things that you might be able to keep an eye out for, and I guess on that we've a similar story. We lost someone that was connected to Breakthrough this week as well. So it's similar story that they didn't show any real signs or symptoms, but then reflecting back, you go, oh, maybe we noticed a few things, but at the time you didn't know. So having that, you can't pick up everything, but if you can have that further education of different things and support of places, of people, they might feel comfortable to speak out to people and reach for support.
So Zane, we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us, but what's that one last overlying message that you'd like people to know about mental health to take away here?
I think being open and approachable to people and being open to what's going on for yourself, and be brave to speak up to even just one person. If you're going through something and you're not quite sure, speak up to someone that's appropriate and that you trust, and get that support, and then go work through what you can through there.
So maybe we'll extend that challenge once again we issued at the beginning. Check in on a mate that maybe you think could potentially be struggling and ask them a couple times, and then maybe go through your list or your phone and choose the happiest person that you think's on that list and check in with them too.
Absolutely. That's a great point, great starting point. Awesome.
Zane, thanks for joining us. We'll talk more breakthrough throughout the broadcast. Google breakthrough is probably the easiest way to get there. Get on your mental health first aid officer at your club. Lots of great information there, and I'm sure Zane would always be willing to chat to any club about how you can help.
Absolutely. Yep. More than happy to.
Zane, thanks for joining us. We'll bring Lana Kaesler back in the broadcast. Lana, you're a teacher. You're an educator. You like to get outside and be active in the mental health space. As we're back at the third inning here, as Sarah Tonkin now second time through the lineup, but you're a mental health advocator, I know yourself, as Tonkin is going to rip one over to left field.
That's an iconic Sarah Tonkin hit, straight through the karaoke shortstop third base hole.
To the left side.
Yeah. No, in the education space, I know the exact course that Zane was talking about. They offer it quite a lot for teachers. I work in a sort of low category school as well, so it's really important, especially I think for a lot of teachers, to do that mental health first aid course, because yes, so many students, and I think it's more prevalent than ever.
Tonkin now trying to steal. That's a great throw from Sydney Horton.
Sarah Tonkin has stolen so many bases this year, and that might be one of the first times she's gotten out. So she's very quick off the mark. But Sydney Horton has just absolutely nailed that throw. And I think Yo Grau,
oh my goodness.
I think Yo Grau is going to be pretty pumped with that tag too. So a great start.
Playing shortstop like she's been there her whole life, and now swinging at a pitch upstairs is Olivia Durham.
To be fair, and a big shout out to the Renmark community. We know where Yo's currently living and resides. I know she plays in that league at the moment, and she doesn't pitch in that league, which is probably for the best of the safety of most people, but she does catch and play shortstop, and she's told me it's some of the most fun she's ever had playing in her entire softball career. So I know she's had a few games. She did mention, though, that it was on grass, so I know dirt's a different beast, but she's come to play today. So the Renmark Riverland community would be very proud of her performance.
I will tell you what, Jade Peterson is humming along now. That's her fourth strikeout of the game, all swinging. She had those 2 strikeouts to end the second after the leadoff runner got aboard, reached all the way to third. Excellent work from Jade Peterson so far.
Yeah, she's very much come into her own. I think a couple innings ago, Sydney sort of called a timeout with Jade just to have a bit of a chat, maybe rediscuss their game plan and what they're throwing to what batters, and it seems to have sort of been a bit of a turning point for them. They're working really nicely as a battery.
Glenelg trying to continue their progression from cellar dwellers to trying to nudge their way to the top of the table. They've had 2 losses to Sturt this year. 1-5-3, 1-5-4. So they're right in the conversation. They're just not quite controlling the chat yet.
Yeah, and I think as a team as well, as I mentioned earlier, they've done a really good job of putting lots of runs on the board this season, probably as opposed to what they've done in other seasons.
Bell White, cannon to left field. It is over the fence.
She's sent it over, and she's hit a little ding-a-ling. Get around those bases, Bellsy. You've just hit another home run.
That ball was smoked.
Goodness me, that is 2 home runs for the Sturt Falcons in 1 week. I heard on the grapevine, unfortunately, versus my wonderful club, that Maddie Cameron put one over on Diamond 2, which isn't easy to do on the Thursday night makeup game. And now Bell's just sent one straight over left. So if you're ever going to send a message to a pitcher, it's probably out of the park.
Bell White continuing her, we can start the chat now. She's going to put her name in the Kath Coral conversation. She does it every year.
She does, yeah.
That's her first home run of the season, though. It's her 5th extra base hit.
Bit rubbish. First home run of the season. How many games has it taken her?
I know. This is her 10th game.
No.
Come on, Bell.
It's a bit late, yeah.
But that ball off the bat was nuked.
Snoked. There's not many places you can feed Belle a ball unless it's a ball that she won't actually hit for a safe hit. So she turned on that beautifully and just sent it to the dog park.
Yeah, there's a dog wandering in that left field line now. I can see it in the
A gift for me? Oh no, just a moon shot from Belle.
Wow, what a shot from Belle White. It's a 1-0 game as Maddie Cameron up to bat now. And now she's going to poke one towards center field. Should be playable, and it is from Georgia Bevan. Well, Jade Peterson just got belled.
She did just get belled. Let's coin that phrase.
Belled? You got belled?
You just got belled. We can do, because that applies to fielding as well. If she takes a diving catch, which, you know, she does, you know, once every 2 games or so, you just got belled.
Oh, my goodness. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell. Cowabunga.
So it's now a 1-0 game, and that one swing of the bat is literally the only score and the only difference. We've played 3 innings so far. We're not even at the midway point of the game. So we could be on track for 7 here if we keep up this rate.
Yeah, the first couple innings really flew by. Very much a pitcher's duel for the first start. I mean, you could argue it's still a pitcher's duel because the only run scored being a 1-pitch hit. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Glenelg answer here. We're starting with Sasha Penglace, which is about, well, she's 3rd in their order, so they're still in the meaty bit. Sasha, followed by Yo, and then Georgia Bevan, 3 very powerful hitters in their own right. So it'll be interesting to see how they answer back. May I add as well, Zane was a very good footballer. He was a bit humble in that chat, but he did play SANFL for many years for Sturt, so he's a very good footballer.
Lined over to the left side, and oh my goodness, look who's having herself a ball game over at third.
Left side strong. Abby Ware's done really well. What's that, 4th or 5th play now?
That is her 4th play, and the whole infield has been worked around. There's been a couple plays to Sarah Tonkin. Bell's only made 1. Oh, lazy,
and it went straight to her.
Yo Grauer up to bat now. She can provide some pop too, Yo, in the batter's circle.
Yes, absolutely. Off-field hitter. She does quite like hitting the ball to a center right or a right field side.
Only played 4 games so far this season. She's 4 for 11, which is kind of scary, knowing that if Glenelg are in finals contention and they are playing finals, you'd think Yo would be making that trek from the Riverland a little bit more often.
Absolutely, yeah. She's that's a nice swing by Yo. She run at that. It was an outside pitch, wanted to smash it right side. But no, she's sort of been a bit of a spark plug for the Glenelg Rebels this year. She's brought a good amount of energy, and obviously from the circle, and no matter where she's playing, she's someone really positive to have on your side. She's a great teammate, so can vouch for that. Kind
of like she did for Port Adelaide when she went to that club, and all of a sudden they became premiership contenders.
Funny how that happens.
This one fouled back, or, I mean, she joined the SA Stars, who had been premiership contenders, and then all of a sudden, they banged the door down.
Yeah, absolutely. That was something I would love to chat about every day for the rest of my life. But yeah, she was instrumental part of that. So wherever Yo goes, winning flows.
Oh, can we get that on a t-shirt?
I'd wear it.
This is over to Belle White. What a block from Belle, and she tried to get that throw off quickly. Runner will go to second.
That's unfortunate for Belle. Yo didn't quite get belled, but yeah, Belle did everything she can. Yo hits the ball very hard. So if we see in the CMAX replay, she's done well. She's dropped a knee. She's basically blocked it with her shoulder, and I'm going to bet that that's going to come up with a bruise. She's had to throw it quickly if she wanted the out, and unfortunately just short-hopped Riley at first. Fantastic base running by Yo to get to second on that.
So now a runner in scoring position is Georgia Bevan trying to get sneaky and drop down a bunt.
Another quick player, Georgia Bevan. Georgia was also a member of the Stars team back in the day. Very, very good outfielder, very quick, reads the ball off the bat, and yeah, another power hitter. She hit a big ding-dong last year in one of her first games back, so.
Swing and a miss for Georgia Bevan. This year, the numbers on Bevan, she has 7 hits and 22 at-bats, so a nice little average, sitting just below 333, so she's being consistent. A couple of those have gone for extra bases.
It's just a great hitting season this season.
And now it's grounded back to Fidge. She'll do her job and advance the runner to third, but there's only there's now 2 out, so only 1 out to play with here.
Well, considering she was going for a running bunt to start that inning, obviously to advance the runner, she's done her job. She's just pushed it to the pitcher away from where Yo needed to go. So we've got a runner in scoring position. All Caitlin Carroll needs to do here is push it somewhere through the field, and they are going to very quickly make it a 1-1 game.
Pitch finds the corner for a strike. Caitlin Carroll up to bat. She's already got a hit in this game.
Caitlin Carroll also wearing a really nifty looking red glove. She hurt her hand earlier in the season. I'm pretty sure against West Torrens, one of our pitchers accidentally hit her and definitely broke something in her hand. So she's done well to make it back, but is wearing a very fashionable red batting glove. So good for her.
I noticed that too. It looks like an oven mitt, and I was hoping that she was baking me some cookies in the back shed right now. But it's a much more tragic story, knowing that her hand is hurt.
Well, do you know what? Maybe it is an oven mitt, and maybe she can knock 2 things out: safety and cookies.
Well, maybe she can just knock one into the outfield quickly and round soon so she can get to the oven to pull them out and bring a nice little platter for us by the 5th inning.
I've got a feeling she's baking up a hit here. I don't know.
There is a run on the base pass as she wants it, and she just stays alive, just hanging on to a pitch that was tailing away to the outside.
Ruby looks like she's throwing a lot of off-speed at the moment to try and end some at-bats. She's done pretty well doing that so far, so nearly got Carroll there, but she's staying alive, as the Bee Gees would say.
And hangs on to that too, so it's going to be a full count for Caitlin Carroll.
I know we've mentioned it earlier, but it's a really nice day out here today. The weather's been trash, so this has just come in well.
Now, Caitlin Carroll up the middle, and she's baked up a run.
We knew she had something cooking when that mitt came out, and now she's just made the score 1-1. Tough at bat. She really worked her way back into that count. A full count as well, so she's gone with an outside pitch, driven it up the middle perfectly. Lovely, just out of reach of Rachel Tonkin on the CMAX replay. Scores Yo Grauer. And we've got an even ball game.
And thank God she's wearing the oven mitt, because she's swinging a hot bat. 2 for 2.
Sizzling.
With a run.
We love that.
1-1 game as Tate Nicholson steps up, but what a great response. What a response, though, from Glenelg, who allowed that solo shot to Belle White. Now they've tied the ball game.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if Justina Adams makes a pitching change soon. Not saying that, I was about to say, not saying that Ruby Fidge is doing a bad job whatsoever as she comes in with a strikeout on Tate Nicholson. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what their pitching rotation will be like today. As we discussed, she does like to use many pitchers in a game. So it'll be, yeah, I'll be curious to see, A, whether Ollie Durham or Zali Adams comes in next and when that rotation will happen.
And I'm still going now to be watching Jade Peterson. I know she's going to be pitching 5 through 9 here, but Sarah Tonkin had a hit to the left field. Belle White, she has a home run. Maddie Cameron has a hit. Will Glenelg and Nat Brinkworth decide to tempt fate and go through the lineup a 3rd time, or will they bring in a woman who's standing at short to try to work through that last time through?
Yeah, I'm interested as well to see whether that change will happen or not. I wonder if Yo Grauer is playing shortstop with the absence of Sophie Kinnear. I don't know whether she's here today or not.
Well, no Sophie Kinnear and no Shepard either.
Okay.
So no Courtney Shepard. So that's 2 players that are out of the lineup. Kinnear normally the infield, but Shepard normally catching, which we would have Horton over at shortstop. So there's had to be a little bit of a lineup juggle here.
Sure, so they might be sort of reaching to maybe make a change here if Yo was to come into pitch. So they wouldn't surprise me if they went, if we play 7, the whole 7 with Jade pitching. She is obviously doing quite well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Probably depend on the game situation as well. Swing and a miss, and Jade Peterson, you can hear that snap of the glove. She's flinging it today.
Absolutely, and it was a great cut by Riley. She kept her hands nice and high on that swing, but just misses. Another low rise from Jade.
And that's 2 straight strikes, 2 straight cuts from Riley Moore.
Bottom 4 of a 1-1 ball game.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Both runs have been scored in the last half inning. Caitlin Carroll just tied the game with a 2-out RBI single up the middle. Belle White went deep in the third inning. And it's been Jade Peterson, Ruby Fidge in the circle, and good defense from both teams as this one pops into foul territory. And Gemma Cochran makes a play. So she's been busy as well. That's her second play she's made over at the hot corner.
Yeah, a nice pitch as we watch on the CMAX replay, just comes inside, sort of chokes Riley Moore up on the bat and forces her to sort of do something. That ends up being a little pop-up to the left side. Gemma Cochran takes that one easily.
Ruby Fidge up to bat. She's got a hit already in this game.
Yeah, that was the little nasty hit that sort of popped over Jade Peterson. It was a little bit unfieldable. Sort of the only way you're going to get that out is if you go for a absolute, diving catch. But no, not much you can do with that play. So Ruby is on the board with a hit today.
This one pops straight back again. 2 strikes now on her. And yeah, Jade Peterson this year entering the game. She does throw a lot of strikes. And again, she's ahead 0-2 right now. On the season, Jade Peterson, she has thrown 370 strikes and 189 balls. So for every 3 pitches she throws, 2 of them are strikes, which is a pretty good ratio to be at.
It is a good ratio, and it's also positive to know as a fielder behind Jade that you've just got to be ready every single pitch, because she's either going to strike someone out or she's going to force someone to do something with the bat. So it's never a guessing game with her. She trusts her field, but she also trusts the immense amount of spin that she has.
Ruby Fidge rocked to right field, but it's right to the glove of Sasha Penglaze. It was a good piece of batting, but just the wrong spot.
That's a really nice hit from Ruby. It did just go straight to Sasha, but on the CMAX replay, we see the pitch come in. She's almost inside out hit that, so it sort of came in on the inside of the plate, and she's pushed that to right field. Little bit left or right of Sasha, and that would have been a really nice safe hit, but just a bit unfortunate for her there.
You want to advance medical research and get paid for your time, log on to CMAX today. Rachel Tonkin, then Ashlyn Men's fourth if Tonkin gets on. Knocked into that awkward spot again in deep infield, shallow outfield. For the 1-2-3 inning complete with Georgia Bevan making the play. We've played 4 innings in 50 minutes. And we're humming along here.
We are humming along. A nice catch there by Georgia Bevan, though, as we look on the CMAX replay. That ball gets sent straight into the Bermuda Triangle, which sometimes it can be a little bit Pete Murray, a little bit seen better days, because that can get dropped easily because it's hard to call. It's hard to know who can catch that ball. But Georgia Bevan's done a really good job calling out her other teammates and getting that catch.
I like it. The song references are on point today.
Well,
What was on your Spotify rap, number 1?
What was number 1? Oh, probably something really pathetic. I actually don't. But I did listen to nearly 38,000 minutes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of camping trips.
Yeah.
A lot of pre-game beats.
Oh, pre-game beats, camping trips, and general hatred of silence. So.
Oh. Well, 5th inning, and Ruby Fidge staying in the ball game.
Staying in the ball game, we are here for mental health round. That's why you see, if you're joining us late, that's why you're seeing so many random green things on the field. Green belts, green symbols, green ribbons, green...
They even painted the grass.
They even painted the grass. They've done
The rain came in and helped us make sure that it was...
Yeah, absolutely.
Lush.
But no, mental health round. We encourage everyone to check in on their friends, check in on their family, their workmates, even people that look like they might be doing okay. Check in. Say, hey, how you going? How's life? Grab a coffee, grab a beer,
All of the above.
Mm-hmm. Leave a cute post-it note, something like that.
Write a poem. Write a haiku.
But on a serious note, do something nice for someone else.
Yeah, that's the challenge we're issuing today.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna buy Eric a beer after this.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Clink.
This knocked into that Bermuda Triangle again, and Jade Peterson, who led off the 3rd inning and nearly scored, she's aboard again.
Yep, started with a walk and is now absolutely threaded the needle straight over second base and into the Bermuda Triangle can move, I will say. So the Bermuda Triangle can move right around that edge of the grass infield, and she's slotted that right in for a single.
What kind of grass is on? It's not Bermuda grass in the outfield, is it?
Well, it is now.
The Bermuda grass triangle? Mm-hmm. Braun Sawyer up to bat, made that really nice play at first base that literally saved a run earlier in the game. Has a runner aboard. Glenelg trying to pressure. After going kind of quietly in the first 2 innings, they had the leadoff runner in the third.
Again, another bunt attempt there from Sawyer.
Trying to turn it over to the top of the lineup where Gemma Cochran, Sydney Horton are looming. They'll be trying to give their import a couple cracks at it.
This is a quite important game, I would say, with the standings.
It's knocked over towards third. Can they turn 2? They get 1, and they do. A big double play turned by Sturt.
Yet again, we see Abby Ware right in the hot corner. That's why they call it the hot corner, because you get lots of those balls. A sweet double hopper to Abby Ware, who turns it to second base. Well taken by Rachel Tonkin in front of Jade Peterson, then throws it for a beautiful stretch by Riley Moore just before Bron Sawyer could get there. And what started as a looming inning is now 2 out.
Big defense from Abby Ware. That's her 5th defensive play of the game, and that's now accounted for 6 outs total.
She might even be in there. If she snags a hit, not snags a hit, because they're not snags. If you get a hit, you get a hit. But if she gets a hit, she might even be in the contention for the player of the day.
Yeah, they Sturt awarding their medal today, the player of the round. That'll happen right after the game. But you're right, she's been rock solid defensively when she's absolutely needed to be.
Absolutely. Crucial times, lots of crucial plays, especially for a third out or like something like that, like a double play. She's done really well.
This one grounded right over to second base, and that will retire the side 1-2-3. But Abby Ware's double play has loomed large in this inning as we're going to head to the bottom of the 5th, and Sturt will try to threaten to take the lead once again.
This is a really good game of softball. There's been lots of action, lots of hits, and lots of really good fielding plays. So it's been one to watch. Quite enjoyed it.
It has been one to watch. 1-1 game. Belle White went deep, and then Caitlin Carroll came through clutch to drive in another run. So it is now a 1-1 game, and Jade Peterson strutting back out there.
I don't want to try and, talk about how good, and how blessed we are in this commentary box, but Eric, I do feel like I'm sitting next to someone with a halo on, because I feel like there are lots of goats going around, but you're one of the goats of commentary. Do you want to quickly just give a spiel of where you've come back from?
What do you mean? I just came back from West Beach last week where I was just in Japan. That was pretty cool at the Tokyo Dome. That was a bit surreal, to be honest. I had a private box in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah, and what were you doing at the Tokyo Dome? I was
calling a couple games at the Tokyo Dome. For the Asia Professional Baseball Championships. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, I would like you to just push some of that modesty aside in a second.
This is bunted right back at the pitcher. Got through Jade Peterson. A late attempt from Gemma Cochran wasn't enough, and Ash Mensforth is aboard.
If you can't hear, Sturt got the jungle drums going, but if we look on the CMAX clinical replay, Ashley Mensforth has slotted this bunt. It's just gone past Jade. Gemma Cochran's tried to sort of slop up what happened there, and it's just gone past the first baseman. So Ashlyn Mensforth, very sneaky on first base, and we've got a bit of a challenge on our hands.
Bunt attempt from Abby Ware. I love it if she swings here and gets a huge hit. She's got 2 hits on the year coming in. I think that's not 3 hits, maybe 3 hits. This would be a good time for a 4th.
It would.
But I think the sacrifice might be in order, knowing that Sarah Tonkin's coming up.
Yeah, probably. It's sometimes just as important, In fact, always as important.
Well, she's going to lay down the bunt, and it just goes foul. That stuck right in front of home plate and just dribbled foul.
I think that ball just got stuck in the batter's box. I'm not making any digs on our diamonds here, but if it was maybe a little bit flatter, it might have just stayed inside the diamond, but she's now got 2 strikes on her. The bunt, you would say, is taken away.
Swing and a miss, another strikeout from Jade Peterson.
Another victim.
Her 5th of the day.
Another victim.
So you're not taking a dig at the field, but you're saying there's some digs in the field.
I know. I'm not saying
someone's literally dug into the field.
Yeah, and it would be people that dig out holes. Maddie Cameron being one. She likes to have a bit of a garden pre-at-bat.
Runner attempting to steal again, and she's done it twice.
Oh, my goodness.
Sydney Horton to Yo Grauer 2 times in 1 game have taken a leadoff runner off the base paths.
On the CMAX replay, we see Yo Grauer gets it. Unfortunately, Ashlyn Mensforth just looks like she gets a bit stuck in her slide there. So potentially if she'd gotten her full little clean slide away, she might have made that a bit closer. But Sydney Horton has hosed 2 very fast runners. Also, impressively from her knees, which is very, you know, takes away a bit of power when you don't use her legs for stuff like that. So she's obviously got an absolute rocket of an arm.
Tonkin takes another pitch, but this at-bat changes completely. You can see what Sturt were trying to do. They've tried to be aggressive, but that's twice now they've been gunned down.
Yeah, I love it when teams are aggressive in these circumstances. It's a 1-1 ball game. Why not try and advance that runner? Absolutely.
Right to Georgia Bevan, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. 2 double plays turned in this game. Both teams have turned a double play now in the last half inning. We played 5, and it's just a 1-1 game. We are on track for 7, Lana Kaesler.
Do you know what we're doing? We're humming along. 1-1.
And now the middle of the lineup, though, coming up. So now the pitching change, if there's a time that it's going to happen, you'd think it would be now.
Absolutely. You'd think it would be. We see Ruby's with her glove. Ollie's still running out to right field. I think Ruby's, they're sticking with Ruby.
Which, fair enough. I mean, she's been pitching a great game so far. She's only allowed a couple hits, nothing for extra bases. I've got 3 hits in my scorebook so far. There's been a double play in there. Someone's reached on an error. She's playing well. Absolutely.
No, definitely, why not go with her, leave her in. I'm just looking at the comments on the live stream, and Sophie Kinnear, who is the probably has been the most consistent shortstop for Glenelg, she's commented, "I'm watching from London, go Rebels." So would love to know why you're in London, because that sounds really fun.
Sophie Kinnear is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe
she's meeting up with Megan Wheatley.
That must be nice. Maybe she is. That would be a fun little link-up, little Rebels link-up. But hi to London, hi to everybody that's watching from around the country, around the world, from space, as we previously mentioned. Watching Sturt versus Glenelg in mental health round. Do you want to try and give us your best British accent? Call the next pitch like you're from London.
Jolly good.
Nah, give it a go.
Jolly good. Sydney Horton. Oh, she's going to lay down the bunt. Just dribble it down the line then. Yep. And she's going to tag her out. Yep. 1 down. Thank you very much.
It's a bit Cockney, actually, that accent.
Oh, wonderful. A jolly good out made here by the Sturt defence.
It's like I'm there. I feel like I'm there. Lays the bunt right down the right field line. Riley Moore picks it up, just nails that tag. Smart idea to try and get a base runner on.
Yeah, but could you call this now in an American or Canadian accent right here?
I got to channel my Yo Grauer.
Sasha Pendlay's up to bat. Now we have also noticed though that a Boston accent and an Australian accent are almost the same.
Surely not.
So if you just speak in your normal accent and just speak slower, and you will sound Boston. So try that.
I feel like I go a little bit bimbo when I try and put on an American accent.
Yeah, so just do the Boston one, but just speak slower. You could nail it, I guarantee it.
Ruby Fedge just pitches that one straight in the dust.
In the dust. That's very Californian of you.
Yeah, see, I feel like I've been speaking to Yo too much. We got a 2-1 count. High for a ball.
That's good. I still think the Boston accent you can do. Try that. Just speak normal, but speak slower. Just in your mind, slow everything down. Say Sasha Penglaze can hit the ball far.
Sasha Penglaze can hit the ball far.
Yeah, it kind of sounds Boston. I think
No,
they
it
screwed
doesn't.
it up a little bit.
It sounds like I've had a rough night.
Yeah, from Boston. Boston.
Boston, isn't it Boston get a
Boston.
coffee? Or is that
That's
New York?
New
Oh,
Sasha Penglaze. I don't know. Jolly good.
Jolly
Yes,
good.
next
It's a
one.
3 and 2 count.
It's a 3-2
We'll
count.
stick with Australian and
And the
Canadian,
Canadian
I
accent?
think.
That
yeah.
works.
Yeah. It's probably for the best.
And she's going to just stay alive. This has quietly turned into a pretty good battle here. Sasha Penglaze hanging in tough.
We've been in for a long at-bat, which is probably for the best considering our pitiful attempts at changing up our
Yeah,
voices.
please
So
ignore.
another 3 and 2 count.
This grounded over towards third, and guess who? Safe! Riley Moore stretched out. That was a bang-bang play. We'll see it on the CMAX replay.
A great attack again by Abby Ware at first. She didn't do a lot wrong in that play as we look at the replay. Attacks the ball, maybe just needed to attack it a bit quicker or gone for a Sydney or the bush, mind my terminology, to go for that play. Riley Moore, a great stretch, but Sasha Penglaze just a bit too fast on that occasion.
Knocked over towards short. Bell White, double play!
Holy dooly, you have been belled.
Stop White now. Thank you very much. We need somebody with the softball touch, and Bell White's got it. It's another double play.
Put it on a T-shirt. Put it on a T-shirt.
Holy smokes.
She's done it herself. Quite selfish if we put it out there. She's gone, do you know what, Rachel? I know you're there, but I'm in for a highlights reel, and she's taken the double play straight by herself. Another hard hit by Yo Grauer. She's kept her body behind it and made it look way too easy.
I don't know if we'll see the replay again, the CMAX replay, but if you take a look at how she timed this throw, just the awareness from Bell of how quickly she needed to get this ball out after she touched on the bag. As an infielder, walk me through this.
You're a magician. We've just gotten the replay that you've asked for. She's gotten her body perfectly behind it. The timing to touch the base and throw, boom, on her perfect throwing leg. So she's not had to adjust in any way. It's basically the same throwing motion. So she makes it look easy, as she should. She's got those Olympic rings tattooed on her for a reason. So well played by Bell White. You've been belled.
If she waits one more second, she's probably safe.
Absolutely.
Or she is safe, I would say.
Yeah, and to be honest, with the momentum that she got from the hit was quite powerful. It probably would have slowed it down if she did use Rachel Tonkin in that double play, so she's made the right judgment call there.
Ollie Durham leads things off. 2-3-4 up to bat here, and you know we got 20 minutes before the game would be called, so we're here in the 6th inning. But Durham up to bat, then White and Cameron. All of a sudden, this game got late quick, knowing that if Sturt score in this inning, then all of a sudden they're going to come into the 7th to try to close this game out.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting finish to this. Sturt really need to get a base runner on in this inning to sort of create a bit more momentum for them heading into the bottom of the 7th, which we are going to play because holy dooly, it's only 4:05. I feel like Sturt want to get straight to that bar.
Yeah, we might not play the bottom of the 7th.
No, we might not.
Well, yes. Ollie Durham still up to bat. And this outside. Jade Peterson has been wonderful in this game. 5 strikeouts. She's only scattered 3 hits in this game. One of them, though, was a long bomb from Bell White. And a swing and a miss. And Bell White, all of a sudden, is also in contention for that medal that will be awarded today.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to see who gets that today. There's been lots of really consistent performances, as we've said. Abby Ware's done well.
Ruby Fidge
has done fantastic in the circle. Bell White's obviously hit a big ding-dong into the dog park and then has made a spectacular double play. So it'll be hard to pick.
Well, Bell White up to bat now. That's such a tricky part because she's got so much protection in this lineup. Like if you pass Bell up, knowing how hot she's been today, you got Maddie Cameron standing right behind her, and it could be the winning run. So you can't really do that.
No, it's tough.
You got to be a bit frigid with how you pitch Bell White in this at bat, surely.
You do. You got to kind of suck her into doing something she might not want to do. Try and get into the headset of, right, am I past that bat? I've just hit a home run. Where am I going to hit next? But she's pretty switched on mentally, so that's pretty hard.
Belle White, an outstanding 17 for 25 to start this season. She's also got 6 walks, one of them today. She is putting together a beastly season.
It's almost rude. It's almost rude to everyone else.
Belle White was swinging at one. That is a big league pop-up at the edge of the infield that is made by Yo Grauer, but that was put up maybe 5,280 feet, which is a mile.
Yeah, she's hit that sky high. Yo Grauer's done well to stay underneath that as we watch the replay. Hit probably just ricocheted off the sun a little bit, but thankfully Yo's well versed at shortstop, gets underneath it. Catches it with one hand, which is frightening for me. However, gets her out. Now that we've got 2 out, Maddie Cameron is up. Can still do a lot of damage with her bat solo, but yeah, it kind of takes away that next RBI fright.
Maddie Cameron over towards third. It takes a hot hop, and it kicks into the left field side. Cameron trying to stretch for 2. She's in there, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position.
Great base running from Maddie. She absolutely rockets that down the third base line. I'm pretty sure it hits Gemma Cochran's foot, which is going to probably leave a stinger or chip a toenail. You can't do much about that. She's absolutely hit it so hard. So hard that it's ricocheted to left field, and she's ran that out really nicely for a double.
Riley Moore with the potential winning run over at second. If Sturt go ahead, this would go to the 7th, and they'd just be 3 outs away.
She's had a big cut at that shot just then. She has come up with the goods for Sturt many, many times this season already, so it'll be interesting to see how she tackles this at-bat.
And she's going to knock one towards center field. Maddie Cameron getting the wave around home. Here's the throw from Bevan, and Sturt have the lead.
Absolutely smokes that up the middle. Riley Moore does exactly what she's done so many times this season. I almost prophesized. And she's gotten her way to second base. It's a tough play as we watch on the CMAX replay. Hits it perfectly up the middle. Georgia Bevan can't do much more with that than what she did. Came up firing for home, but just not in time. The ball probably slowed down a little bit as well going onto the grass. So, yeah, they've done well, but not when you link up like that. So well hit by Riley Moore, and gets Sturt the lead heading into hopefully the 7th inning soon.
That is a 2-out rally. 2 straight hits after the home run that she gave up to Belle White. Jade Peterson had gone through the lineup and only allowed an infield hit. So she was motoring along. And now a double from Cameron off of the hop with an assist off the kick from third. And now the single from Riley Moore has Sturt up by 1. This is dribbled again to third, and Ruby Fidge should get there. She does, and she will stay at first. Runner advances to third, though, so now 2 on, both at the corners.
Ruby Fidge has been the queen of finding alternate paths through hitting to first base today. So she's just dribbled that to the third base side. I think it's had really bizarre spin by the looks, and Gemma Cochran's had to attack that. Just goes a little bit wide of Bron Sawyer, and Ruby Fidge stays at 1. Good backup by Sasha Penglace at right field to stop Riley Moore from scoring as well.
What Glenelg have been very good at this year compared to last year especially is they played good, solid, clean softball. But you've seen how many double plays they've made this game. There's been 5 double plays in this game total, by the way.
Mental.
But these are the moments for Glenelg, is can they stop 1 run becoming 3 runs? Can they stop just 1 run in an inning becoming a big inning that you can't recover from? 1 swing of the bat, can they keep it a 1-swing game?
You would want to hope that they can sort of stop the bleeding here so they can get back in the batting box and see if they can't even the game up. But yeah, Sturt's a lineup where once they get a bit of a sniff, it's hard to sort of stop. So Rachel Tonkin, who for so many seasons has been such a consistent 9-hitter for them, has jumped into the 7th spot and has done really well.
And she's going to poke it to center field. Bevan leaps up and makes a mark. What a great mark from Georgia Bevan.
A great mark from Georgia Bevan. Goes up with 2 hands, says, "Not today," and cuts the bleeding right there.
Well, we're going to go to the 7th inning, and this will be the last chance for Glenelg to tie this. We might have a pitching change. We just had the scorers come over with the change. There's Georgia Bevan's play.
Georgia Bevan literally says up there Kazali and takes that mark with 2 hands. So well done.
Now Ruby Fidge going the distance in this game, and why not? She's had some help from the defense, but a lot of ground balls today. Ware's been excellent at third. Belle White just made a huge play, an inning-ending double play, and a couple strikeouts for Ruby Fidge. She'll have to contend with Georgia Bevan, Caitlin Carroll, and Tate Nicholson this inning. Caitlin Carroll is 2 for 2 in the game, and she has the RBI. So Glenelg, who have come close with Sturt 2 times already this season, are trying to avoid a third narrow defeat, but they are showing they are right there with one of the league's best.
Yeah, they've just had some heartbreak this year, but hopefully they can flip that, break some hearts in the opposite way, maybe come through with the goods in reverse order. It would be really cool to see them get ahead here and then hold, but Sturt, unfortunately, are a strong contender this year for the flag. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It is I think Sturt atop.
Yeah, West Torrens probably needs Sturt to drop a game or two.
This year is everyone
can
is,
beat everybody.
Everyone is beating everybody. It's actually a really, really interesting season to be a part of.
More fun, right?
Absolutely more fun.
Swing and a miss, Georgia Bevan.
So, no, I think Glenelg a third, Sturt a top, but, yeah, it's all very close in points from really 1st to 7th, to be honest. It's anyone's year this year, so don't think it really matters who beats who. It's just who comes out come April.
Glenelg played a mountain of games, though. This is, I think, their 13th game played.
Yeah, I feel like
12th game played, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah. It seems to be that way. So,
Bevan. Oh my goodness!
Lordy. Great balls of fire. Ruby has just taken that sweetly into her glove. I'm not sure she really had a choice, to be honest.
She hasn't even touched it since then. It's literally, is it stuck to her hand?
I think
Take a look at this.
I think it's literally flaming. On the CMAX replay, we watched Georgia Bevan absolutely smoke this ball straight back at Ruby. Takes it. To be honest, she protects everything important and sticks her gloves out and says, "Please, dear Lord, please, softball gods, stick in my glove."
Well, she'll have to say an extra prayer tonight when she goes to bed to Mama Softball. That was a great snag from Ruby Fidge.
She's done well. Unfortunately for Georgia Bevan, that sends her back to the pine, but another good at-bat from her today.
Yeah, that robbed them of a leadoff base hit. That was the tying run that Ruby Fidge just took away.
Still top 7, 1 out. Sturt leading the ball game. Glenelg need to answer here.
Pitch down in the dirt. Caitlin Carroll is hot, hot, hot. She's got 2 hits, both up the middle, including the RBI that tied the game all the way back in the 4th inning.
Yeah, someone that they've definitely missed her bat
and she's going to knock one to right field. Another good piece of hitting, but this goes right to Olivia Durham, and Glenelg are down to their final out.
Another beautiful shot by Glenelg. They seem to just be hitting it straight to every Sturt player today. As we watch on the CMAX replay, drives the ball to right field. Ollie Durham reads it perfectly off the bat, takes a nice line drive catch, and Sturt are now 1 away from the victory.
Up the middle, base hit, Tate Nicholson.
Never say die. The Rebels continue, and we follow up Tate Nicholson's beautiful hit up the middle with Jade Peterson, who has found herself on base quite often.
2 line drives, including one where Ruby Fidge just robbed her of a base hit. There really could be 2 or 3 base runners on right now for Glenelg. They just haven't had the bounce quite go their way today.
Yeah.
And they got belled.
Hey, and that's unfortunately softball. Sometimes you can hit the ball really, really, really well and get out every single time, while your teammate can hit 3 random dribblers and also get on every time. So that's the softball luck.
Jade Peterson stays on it, fouls it straight back.
Tate Nicholson at first base has wheels on her as well. So if Jade gets her hands to a good piece here and finds a gap, we could easily see a 2-all game off 1 hit.
Well, they're down to their final strike now. That slips away, and Nicholson is now going to bolt to second. Throw comes in. She slides in safe. So the tying run is in scoring position for Jade Peterson, but she is down to her final strike.
As we watch on the replay, Sarah Tonkin's just gone for a pick-off opportunity, but it's just pipped Riley Moore's glove at first base. Although Ollie Durham did all the right things there in backing up, the throw just went a little bit wild, so she's managed to Tate Nicholson's managed to read that and get to second. So, as you said, a runner in scoring position. All we need is a ball to the gap for Glenelg to tie up this ball game.
Pitch up high, and that will be the third ball and a nice walk for Jade Peterson. She
thought, you know what, I'm just going to get my step count up. I'm a bit low on my steps today, so she just thought I should drop her back, go for a bit of a trot, and then go, actually, no, I will complete my at-bat.
Full count, game on the line. Now she can walk to first base, and now the go-ahead run is aboard for Glenelg. And they are now quite literally that great Ruby Fidge catch away from having taken the lead in this ball game. And now the number 9 hitter, Braun Sawyer, comes up to bat. She grounded into a double play and reached on a fielder's choice earlier in the game. This is a big at-bat with the tying run at second. And she's going to knock one to right field. Doesn't find the gap. It drops. Glenelg are going to tie this game. They might even take the lead. The runner is coming around home. There's a play at the plate. Rebels in front.
Oh, my God. What a game. Holy guacamole. We have a new leader. Whew, oh, God, I've got to compose myself. Well, on the CMAX replay, we say Bron Sawyer says, I don't care about a long at-bat. I'm going to hit you first pitch. Drives at center right, straight over Maddie Cameron's head, almost to the fence. Maddie Cameron does well to hit her cut to Olympian Mara Goat Bell White, who sends it home, but not in time. And we've got a ball game on our hands.
A 2-out rally, a single, a walk, and a double out of nowhere. And you may as well call her LeBron Sawyer, because that was clutch.
Put her on a T-shirt. She's sent them into the lead. 3-2, top 7, 2-out rally. Oh, my God.
In the bottom of the 6th, it was Sturt that had a 2-out rally to take a 2-1 lead, and they were looking like they were going to win this game. They had Peterson down to 2 strikes. They were 1 pitch away from winning it.
Yep, they've just, Glenelg have said, not today, Sturt, not today, not today.
A chaos game here, and a great one too. And now all of a sudden, they were 1 out away, or 1 strike away from losing the game. They are now 3 outs away from winning the game.
And they're back at the top of their lineup too with the very dangerous Gemma Cochran. So this might not be the end of their rally.
Gemma Cochran pokes one to center field.
That
gets by Cameron. It's going to be a 4-2 lead. Ball still rattling in at the fence. And Gemma Cochran goes bang!
Holy moly. Strap yourself in, everybody. This game isn't over because Glenelg said it's not over. We're going to watch the CMAX replay. Gemma smokes this one to center left. Again, over the other side of Maddie Cameron. She has a crack at it, but has to chase it down. Bree McGee came on as the runner for Glenelg. She's absolutely made it home with ease. Gemma Cochran stands up at 2. Well done. What a rally.
And now the import, Sydney Horton, comes up to bat. She is the leading threat in this lineup. She entered the game 10 for 23, 4 extra base hits on the season. She's 0 for 3 this afternoon, so you figure she's due.
Yep, she's very much due, and softball is a way like that. You might go none for throughout all of the game, and then suddenly it's your time to shine.
Fidge finds the strike zone.
She's got to keep backing herself in, Ruby. She's pitched a really good game. Keep trusting what Sarah Tonkin's calling behind the plate. She can get the 3rd out.
A crazy game.
And we keep pushing through too. It's still only top of 7, so stay with us, everybody. At some stage, we will have to try and see a Sturt comeback. And a walk. 4 balls to Sydney Horton, sees her at first base, so we have a force 3 situation. Still 2 out. They've done all of this with 2 out, Glenelg.
Yeah, they've gone single, walk, double, double, walk.
Justina Adams has just called time. And I think this is when they will be making the pitching change. Zali Adams comes in for Ruby Fidge.
Well, tough luck for Ruby Fidge. She was pitching so well. Got into the 7th inning. She was 1 strike away from having a 3-hit, 1-run allowed game. And softball can change on a dime. And Glenelg, who have been victim of the big inning, have just put up a crooked number of their own here in the 7th.
Yeah, she's done really well, and I think probably a really positive sort of spin on what's happened. Although Ruby has been, had suffered a couple hits just then, the really good thing about this comeback from Glenelg is that they've all been really clean hits. So it's not like they've been scoring off of errors or untimely plays from another team. They've hit the ball really well, they've hit it really hard, and they've had really good at-bats and good cuts at good pitches. So it's good signs for Glenelg. They're attacking at-bats, attacking pitches, and going after what they want to. So, yeah, really, really important. Sometimes softball goes that way, but they're doing all the right things and putting the ball into play, which is really positive to see. Zali does have to face Sasha Penglace, and then all the power Yo Grauer coming in as the second batter in this next sort of set of batters. So it will be hard to get fully out of this rut. Let's hope Zali can come in and do the job for Sturt.
Well, yeah, Yo Grauer is not one that you'd want to face in this situation, because if she gets there, probably another run is scored.
Yep.
Coming up in the lineup, though, is like Sarah. The lineup's going to turn over. They will.
Yep.
It will be Sarah Tonkin facing Jade Peterson for the 4th time. If Jade Peterson remains in the game, which we suspect she will, she's pitched wonderfully in this game. It's this game a long way from being over.
Absolutely, it's a game that's really turned around quite a few times. Lots of shifts in momentum, so it's been very interesting to watch.
Swing and a miss, going off speed, Zali Adams. She's pitched the lion's shares of innings this year, 22 1/3. She's got 4 wins. She's finished 2 games, and she's only allowed a handful of runs. Her ERA just over 3, which is sort of unfair, actually, based on how well she's pitched this season.
Yep.
And a swing and a miss, big strikeout.
No, very timely strikeout for Zali. She's come in and done her job, got them out of a very, very scary-looking inning, stopped the momentum, cut the bleeding, and now it's Sturt's turn to see if they can break some hearts in turn.
So if you were just joining us now, it was a 1-1 game here on our mental health round. It's a breakthrough night. We had Zane from Breakthrough talk about all the initiatives you can take at your club. Definitely worth a Google of Breakthrough. Get on their website. But it was a 1-1 game in the 6th inning, 2 outs, la-di-da, nonchalant. We're going to 7th. It's going to be tied at 1, but no, a 2-out rally from Sturt. Maddie Cameron scored. It looked like the go-ahead run, and then the first 2 outs were made in the 7th inning. It's a 1-2 count to Jade Peterson. We think this ball game is over, and then all of a sudden, a walk.
A walk and then a real walk.
A hit, yeah, a hit, a walk, a double, another walk, and 3 runs have crossed the plate. Braun Sawyer right now, as it stands, has the winning RBI of the game, and it's gone a bit chaos here in the late innings.
It has gone chaos. We've been in chaos here. Very much so. But we now see the bottom of the 7th. I told you we'd get to the bottom of the 7th.
And this game that was humming along is now overtime.
Humming along.
No longer humming.
No longer humming. More probably
this
just
game
whispering.
Is whispering along. This game is
whispering. It's whispering to the finish. ASMR.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Do it.
Ashlyn Mensforth batting.
Ashlyn Mensforth, Abby Weir, and Sarah Tonkin are the batters that will bat in this inning. Mensforth reached on an infield single before she was retired.
Cheeky running bunt, I think.
There's been 5 double plays in this game. There's been 2 times this combination of Horton and Grauer have thrown a runner out at second. So there's been a lot of great defensive action in this game. There's been some drama. There's been a home run. This is going to go down as one of the better games of the season.
Absolutely. By far one of the better games, at least, of the first half of the season. So it's I was going to say, there is nothing more dangerous than Jade Peterson when she's come off a batting rally. She loves a victory, and she'll be coming in with some dirty pitches. Just call Christina Aguilera.
Ooh, 7 strikeouts.
There you go. 7 strikeouts, and I'm pretty sure she's number 7.
How fitting.
Fun facts.
Can she go better? I think we're going to get a pitching change, or a hitting change, sorry. It'll be Lucy Weir coming in to pitch for her sister, Abby.
To bat?
To bat? Yes, that one.
Abby Weir's sister is actually going to replace Jade Peterson pitching Sturt to Sturt.
Well, it's a chaos game.
No, hey, I can barely sit down.
That one just finessed into the strike zone for strike one.
Yeah, that's a dirty, dirty pitch. A change-up's not something you want to see. I can speak personally from that.
So let's see what Lucy can do. She swings at one upstairs. There's 2 pitches, 2 strikes. But we've seen it in the last bit. The damage comes when there's 2 outs on the board. So
do you know what? Get out of my head. Are you in my head? Are you in there?
Maybe.
Get right out of there, because that's what I was about to say. Oofed. That is a tight inside pitch. Jade's a bit disappointed that that one didn't get called, I think.
Every run in this game has been scored with 2 outs on the board. You can go back to the third inning.
No, it's not.
When Belle White hit a 2-out solo shot with nobody aboard to make it 1-0. And then the next inning, Caitlin Carroll had a runner at second as Jade Peterson, strikeout number 8. But Caitlin Carroll had 2 outs. There was a runner on second, and then she had a base hit. In fact, Caitlin Carroll, when she scored that run, it came off of there was an error in the field, and then, so 2 outs, Caitlin Carroll made it a 1-1 game. 6th inning, 2-out rally. 7th inning, 2-out rally. Everything with 2 outs. So now the action will happen with Sarah Tonkin up to bat, who is 1 for 3, and she's been caught stealing.
Sarah Tonkin looking to be the saviour for this team right now. 2 out. They really need to start doing a softball gods rain dance, run, rally, whatever you want to call it.
They're going to need her to get on base, and then they're going to need some action. They are chasing 2 runs. Glenelg, I don't know when the last time is they beat Sturt, but they haven't beat them this year. They've lost 2 narrow games, and now they're on the verge of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is grounded over to short. It's a hop to Grauer across the diamond. She's safe. The ball game just inches away from ending, and the tie-in run will come to the plate.
It's an unfortunate hop as we watch on the CMAX replay. Yo just sits on it. She manages to glove it, but Sarah Tonkin is a very fast runner, and she gets there by a step. I would love to see a zoom in on Sarah Tonkin's face as she crosses first base, as she does a bit of an aeroplane, please call me safe motion. But do you know what? Maybe the aeroplane helped her.
Well, Ollie Durham, if she can get aboard here, Belle White would come to the plate with a couple runners on. Durham, though, has struck out 3 times today, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
As we've said, though, no better time sometimes when everything seems against you. That's the time when you come through with the goods. So
can Durham get Belle White to the plate representing the winning run? That is the question right now, and Jade Peterson knows exactly who is on deck.
Yep.
If she can retire Durham, the game will end. If she can't, Belle White will have a chance to win it.
Oh my golly gosh.
Durham fouls one and can't get there, Braun Sawyer, but 2 strikes now on Durham.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on poor Ollie's shoulders right now, but if she keeps that same sort of strong mental head, she's got a good swing. She just needs to punch the ball into play, so it's already good to see her make a little adjustment with her bat, hoping to punch the ball somewhere and send the run around the bases.
Can they end it here? Swing and a miss! Glenelg come from nowhere to win a thriller. They score 3 runs on a 2-out rally in the top of the 7th, and they have defeated Sturt.
What an interesting game from all perspectives. A lot of momentum shifts, a lot of changes in lead, a lot of fantastic plays, as you've mentioned a bunch of times. Lots of double plays, lots of spectacular hits, and great fielding. So it's a great game of softball. Softball is the winner, but ultimately Glenelg is the winner.
please comment an emoji of what you thought of this game. This game was Banana Lands. Lana Kaiser, thanks for joining me for it. We'll go for both sides here. Who's your player of the game? We'll start with the losing side on the Falcons.
That's a tough one. Oh, goodness, it's a tough one. For me, it would be a three-way tie between Belle White, Ruby Fidge, and Abby Ware. But probably Belle. You can't go past a home run. For the winning side, Jade Peterson, 9 strikeouts with the final one with Ollie Durham. But a really good team game from Glenelg, you would argue.
Yeah, great team game. I mean, for me, it's that bottom of the lineup was fantastic. Caitlin Carroll went 2 for 3. She had an RBI to tie the game earlier, and then Tate Nicholson and Braun Sawyer with clutch hits. Braun Sawyer had the RBI double. She also had a couple nice plays at first. You know, in 7, 8, 9, get it done. That's when games are won. Sawyer reached twice. Peterson reached 3 times. Tate Nicholson reached 1. Caitlin Carroll reached twice. That bottom of the Glenelg lineup really was the difference in this game.
Yeah, and when it's a team game, they're the sort of bigger victories that you get. So it's a really positive step for Glenelg, and especially on what an important day today was. So
9 strikeouts for Jade Peterson, by the way,
and reached base 3 times. So maybe she's our player of the day.
Yeah, and breakthrough mental health. Certainly, if you don't have a mental health officer, first aid officer at your club, worth getting in touch with Breakthrough, finding out how they can help. And remember, your challenge today is go and ask how somebody is doing, someone that is maybe struggling and maybe showing some signs, and ask someone who isn't. That is your homework for today.
Yep, do something kind, be kind to each other, make sure you're grateful for lots of certain things heading into this festive season, but it's been a pleasure.
Well, that will send Lana and I to the bar. Thank you very much for joining us and spending a couple hours with us this afternoon. And big thanks to everybody from Spacequake Sports for the production today. We will be back on Wednesday afternoon. See you then.
See ya.